Aircraft carrier Shandong welcomes the first batch of Hongkongers who had bought tickets to tour the ship during the vessel's 5-day stay in the SAR. Former Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying renews call for rent cuts as vacancy rates for commercial properties in the city hit a 40-year high. And a higher typhoon signal is unlikely, but Hong Kong swelters in heat as the mercury touches the mid-30s in many parts of the city. Good evening, you're now watching Cable News. I'm Cheryl Yun. The People's Liberation Army Navy fleet, led by the first domestically built aircraft carrier Shandong, opened its doors to the public for 2 days, offering 10,000 lucky visitors a chance to tour 3 warships. Excited locals and even mainland tourists flocked to see the pride of the nation, calling it a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Jeremy Zhu tells us more.
Docked near Tsingyi's Kaoyi Chao, the Shandong required visitors to take a ferry from Central to get on board. For 2,000 ticket holders, stepping onto the carrier was a dream come true. I was so excited I couldn't sleep last night, this local woman said. A Beijing tourist added that this chance is incredible, as flight carriers rarely exhibit in mainland. He said he especially wanted to see the flight deck. Each tour lasts about an hour, with visitors riding aircraft elevators to the deck for close-up views of fighter jets. The most stunning part was seeing the catapult system up close, this man said. Every detail here feels awe-inspiring. Another man praised the crew's hospitality, noting sailors sang for guests and guided them warmly. Even those without tickets gathered near Tsingyi for distant photos of the national treasure. Also open for tours were the destroyer Zhanjiang and frigate Leung Chun-ying, docked at Stonecutters Island with a total of 8,000 slots. Queues formed as early as 7 a.m., with security checks starting at 8. The fleet arrived Thursday for the SAR's 28th handover anniversary, hosting student groups and cultural events. The accompanying Yan'an destroyer was not open for public tours. The ships will leave on Monday, concluding their historic visit. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
Former Chief Executive Leung Chun-ying has warned that the SAR's retail and catering sectors are facing severe challenges, with commercial property vacancies hitting a record high. He called on landlords to adjust rents in line with market conditions and cautioned banks that prolonged vacancies would only devalue their mortgage assets. Jeremy Zhu reports.
In an exclusive interview with iCable News, Leung analyzed the recent closures of multiple restaurant and retail chains, citing factors such as residents spending more across the border and the rise of food delivery and e-commerce. He stressed that landlords must adapt as the strength of a market economy lies in its ability to adjust, warning that those who ignore shifting consumer habits will only hurt themselves in the long run. While Leung did not specify exact rent reduction figures, he insisted rates must reflect current conditions. Many businesses, he said, are struggling to turn a profit while paying high rents, and lower leasing costs could help sustain tenants or even attract new ones. Responding to concerns that rent cuts could trigger bank loan recalls and bankruptcies, Leung acknowledged the risk but argued delaying adjustments would lead to steeper falls later, ultimately harming banks' collateral. On the upcoming Legislative Council elections and year-end, Leung responded calls to reduce seats, saying effectiveness matters most, not numbers. He added that the current political environment allows lawmakers to better serve society and the nation. Jeremy Zhu, Cable News.
The standby signal number 1 will remain in force until at least noon tomorrow, as the observatory says a higher signal is unlikely. However, the weather watchdog reminded Hongkongers to brace for prolonged heat over the next few days. Bess Leung shares more.
Severe tropical storm Danius did not usher in rain or wind, leaving temperatures stubbornly high in the mid to upper 30s across the city. While some made the most of the sunshine by launching on beaches, Those working outdoors had to take breaks to cope with the scorching conditions. The observatory said as Danish is currently moving away from Hong Kong, the chance of a stronger typhoon signal being issued is low.
The standby signal number 1 will remain in force until noon tomorrow. Dennis will then accelerate northeastward and move in the general direction of western coast of Taiwan to the vicinity of Taiwan Strait, departing from Hong Kong gradually. When Dennis no longer poses a threat to Hong Kong, the observatory will cancel all tropical cyclone warning signal.
Persistently very hot weather and showers triggered by high temperatures will affect the city in the next couple of days. Hongkongers are reminded to drink sufficient water to prevent heat stroke or other discomforts. Bess Leung, Cable News.
Secretary for Constitutional and Mainland Affairs Eric Tsang said the government will adopt innovative strategies to promote the Legislative Council election in December, including aligning its promotion with the National Games in November. Tsang described the National Games and the Legislative Council election as major events of the year, presenting unique opportunities for cross-promotion during the election campaign. However, Tsang stated that no specific targets have been set for voter turnout. He noted that the highest turnout in the Legislative Council election occurred in a period marked by significant social unrest in Hong Kong, downplaying the importance of high turnout rates. The minister emphasized that the current election remains vibrant, highlighting that even if all candidates belong to the pro-government camp, they come from diverse backgrounds and hold varied political perspectives. Tsang also encouraged capable patriots to seize the opportunity to contribute to the city's governance. At least 24 people have died after flash floods hit the southern U.S. state of Texas. A state of emergency has been declared in several counties across the state after some areas received a month's worth of rainfall in just a few hours, causing a local river to rise almost 8 meters in less than 60 minutes. Sachin Kadvi reports.
There was little warning as water level in the Guadalupe River in central Texas rose almost 8 meters, inundating everything in its path. Rescue crews are still searching for up to 25 children who were among the 750 girls attending a summer camp just outside the town of Kerrville, roughly 200 kilometers west of the state capital, Austin. Officials said they were caught off guard by the heavy downpour that swept away mobile homes, vehicles, and holiday cabins when people were enjoying America's Independence Day over the July 4th weekend.
This is not like a tornado where you can have a siren. This is not like a hurricane where you're planning weeks in advance. It hit hard, and things like this happen in a very strategic, very isolated area. And when those two things converged, you had what happened today. So this happened within less than a 2-hour span, very, very quickly.
Many county residents were shifted to temporary evacuation centers. People who have not been evacuated are advised to move to higher ground. Power and water supply has been affected, and washed out highways are hampering search and rescue efforts. Sachin Kadvi, Cable News.
On to the weather now. Mainly cloudy with a few showers and squally thunderstorms. Very hot with sunny periods during the day. Temperatures will range between 28 and 34 degrees tomorrow. Now let's take a look at the weather around the world. And that's our news tonight. I'm Cheryl Yun. Thanks for watching and good night.